welcome to the Ek. We're taking some Ek fire. With us in front of us here is Mr. Wesley Strokes in the NWA or NWO WCW Thundercar.
This is a very, very nice custom livery, Mr. Stone.
Indeed. I will be your host for the evening, the King of Dong Style, Myron Dirksen. And with me, as always, he puts the Metro in metrosexual, Michael Magus.
I feel like that's really false advertising.
Well, I mean, we're going for card jokes, aren't we?
Fair enough.
I just thought it was somebody who really found cars attractive.
Let's see here. Do we have any new faces on the grid? No, these are all, I believe, fairly familiar to us.
They're all old and boring. You guys suck.
Mr. Johnny Peach, Mr. James Butler, Mr. Jorge Rivera, Mr. Matthew Higgs, Travis Wallace, Mike Stopmill, on your screen right now. Jonathan Young, Leandro Carroll, Wesley Stokes, and James Boulier.
Ooh. Tantalizing.
And we kind of have the useless gaps here in qualifying, so those gaps between the cars mean absolutely nothing.
I mean, that's possible. I do like the green stripe on that. That's very nice.
And that is
the green
the classic,
and gray is pretty
it's the
sad,
classic.
pretty classic.
It's the classic Bentley. Well, the classic Bentley look is actually white green, but they've gone to a more silver color in recent times.
Well, I don't know if that's a good idea.
This is the Nurburgring, and
More like Nerdburger ring.
Anyways, Nurburgring in Germany. This is the most recent round of the ASSETTO CORSA COMPETIZIONE Championship here in ESR. There is your grid. Mike Stopmill, Travis Wallace, Leandro Carroll, Matt Higgs, Wesley Stokes, Jonathan Young, James Butler, George Rivera, John Picha. That's a lot of J's at the bottom.
Correct. You could go fishing with all them. It's your boy T-Wall.
I, of course, was missing it from action on this grid due to my horrendous illness. Which I seem
Should have driven anyway.
I seem to have mostly recovered from, actually. Put on some weight today, finally.
Gross.
Yeah, but it was like lower fat rate and everything. Like, I lost fat, but it just...
You just ate straight chicken.
No, just getting back to
93 kilograms of chicken.
Just getting back to being, like, semi-hydrated.
Oh, yeah, that's always good. Do like I do, and make sure you have plenty of wine at all times.
Indeed.
Or at least, when you feel like it.
And I had to go get my my dental molds redone, which was a bit of a pain in the butt.
That's all right. Just feel better knowing that you got them all sick.
It's possible. And I tried out a lovely new restaurant today, so that was nice.
How would you know? You can't taste nothing, you disease bastard.
No, my sense of taste is back. It was really good. It was just like a Thai place that opened up a little bit around the block from me.
Oh, very nice. Did they try and kick you in the head with the shin?
No, they
not authentic Thai. In real Thai restaurant, you have to fight people to get to the table, and then you have to defeat the cook.
Did you see the UFC event this weekend there and the 15-second eye poke?
No, I heard about it though. Trust me, the internet let me know.
Yeah, and then Yair Rodriguez is like trying to play the victim, like, oh no, he just wanted out of the fight. Man, it's 15 seconds in, dude, and you're fighting Jeremy Stevens. He's too dumb to want out of the fight. Someone got off to a really bad start there on the rolling start. That's Travis Wallace, who's actually lost a grid position effectively.
Travis was a rolling stone.
And it looks like someone disconnected, so it looks like we're down to just 8 cars, unfortunately.
It says 9 on my screen.
Indeed, but someone just like disappeared. Oh, there it is. He's just in the pit lane. Okay, so Leandro Carroll is starting from here. Or that is Jonathan Young. I'm not sure if that's I think that's Jonathan Young, actually. Yeah, Jonathan Young's the one in the Lebanese Ferrari. Right. Leandro's up there in second place ahead of this man, the Lexus of Travis Wallace. Leading the way, of course, Mike Stopmill. Is there any doubt? Is that something that even really needs to be stated? I think it's just a given.
I hear that in the next race, his ballast is going to be the equivalent of Austria.
That would be intriguing. So I'll quickly go over the circuit here. The Nurburgring is a very challenging circuit. It's the short version of the Nordschleife, which you have heard about before and seen.
Nordschleife!
A.k.a. the Green Hell. This is just basically the circuit portion of that particular track. It has been home to European and German Grand Prix and Luxembourg Grand Prix briefly, and in F1. And it's up there on like probably one of the top 10 all-time tracks in the world.
Wait, time out. So a different country just co-opted a German track to hold their Grand Prix there?
So what it is that Formula One has historically had Grand Prix with tracks not in the country as kind of a way, because they're supposed to only have one race in a country. So the way they get around that is by kind of like declaring...
They let a country sponsor a race?
Kind of.
Okay.
They do the same thing with the Grand Prix of San Marino. It's at a track called Imola, which is just, hey, we want to have a second race in Italy. I mean, we could totally call it the Grand Prix of San Marino. No one will ever know the difference.
I think that they should just race around the entire perimeter of San Marino. First one there wins.
That'd be interesting.
I'm interested. Mr. Higgs, let me in.
Indeed, Mr. Higgs in fourth
Which
place.
Which was the flash of the chinny
Travis.
chin? Harpoon time! Oh!
Bit of a dark, overcast day for it.
It's a dark, overcast day here in my place.
It is. You were saying it was
been raining for like 2 days.
There you go.
We went out shooting in the rain. It was a good time.
Hopefully the weather is better in about 2 weeks.
Indeed. Mr. Mike Magus and Mr. Martin Edmonds are coming to visit me, and I'm going to make them sleep on the porch, which is weird because I don't have one.
That would be intriguing because I'm like, the porch is unaware of this.
Well, I mean, technically, it's above my entranceway.
We quickly check in with George Rivera, who is hunting Mr. James Butler. By the way, Mr. Nils Baukage has confirmed that you are pronouncing his name correctly. So,
which way? I mean, we did like 4 different ways.
I know. I asked him, like, which way.
I assume Baukage is the way to go. But Baukage is funnier.
I think he means the Baukage, because he specifically said that that you were correct in the pronunciation. And I was the one that was using
we will go with Baukage.
All right, Baukage it is.
There's a whole bunch of videos like that on Pornhub.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if he should have confirmed that.
Probably not. We will make jokes about Mr. Baukage painting the town white.
Indeed. Poor Travis. He qualified second and then just completely pooched the rolling start and fell back to third. I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Obviously not listening to enough Limp Bizkit. Otherwise, he would know that he had to start rolling.
Rolling.
Rolling the roadie and Gertrude the groupie.
He has to, channel his inner American badass.
Yeah.
A character that made absolutely no sense in WWE.
Who knew I'd blow up like Oklahoma? Said fuck high school, here's to my diploma. Like when he came out with, when that song hit, I was jacked to the moon, and the second time I listened through it, I was like, did he just equivocate himself to a terrorist attack? That's pretty brave.
That's hardcore.
Why would you say something so controversial yet so brave?
So it looks like we're sort of separating into two fights here. Mike Stoppmill versus Leandro Carroll, and Travis Wallace versus Matthew Higgs. So the battle of the imports and then the battle of the domestic.
He's going so fast, we're going to have to call him Matthew.
Mm-hmm. Ugh, I'm getting a little mucusy, so if I'm less loquacious than usual.
That's all right. I'm getting a little phlegmy myself. Better wash it down with some fruit punch.
And what is in your fruit punch?
Grapes.
I see.
Smooth.
Real smooth. Mr. John Peaches slipped off the back of the pack, and it is now Jonathan Young versus George Rivera. And then poor Wesley Stokes and James Butler just don't really have anyone to race. They're kind of on their own.
Call him a motherfucker.
Call him a motherfucker. They're totally in
That's better than Elf.
Motherfucker or haiku writing motherfucker?
Correct. Something about coffee flavored coffee. Mr. Rivera in the Hulk Hogan mobile, obviously racist in the racing thing.
Indeed. What you gonna do when Rivera Mania runs wild?
What you gonna do when your sex tape leaks online and you're gonna get banned from... Ooh, that was awkward.
Well, you're gonna lose a spot to Jonathan Young. I guess that's the question.
All the Rivera Maniacs.
Oh.
There seems to be a thing. We're just gonna keep going.
We're just gonna keep going. There we go.
For legal reasons, that was a joke.
Indeed. Totally. We are not in any way insinuating that Hulk Hogan has done terrible things.
Not at all.
Not at all.
I did enjoy the reaction to his big, quote, apology backstage like a year ago or two.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Like, literally half the people, I would say way more than half the people that were asked about it, they're like, yeah, if he wants to apologize, he probably should do that, not just say, please don't get caught.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, where the apology was basically, you gotta be careful who's watching. It's like, no, you just don't have to say racist shit.
Yeah, that would be good. Like, listen. Like, dude, you could even play it up. Like, they asked me to do it. They were part of their thing. Bubba the Love Sponge, he's the racist one, not me. I was portraying a character.
No, Bubba the Love Sponge is absolutely racist, so, you can totally put that in there.
I wouldn't doubt it at all, because he's the person? I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. I don't know what he is. I'm assuming he's fat.
He's portly.
There you go.
He's a broad, and like he's got a big build to him. Like he would never be, skinny, but he's also not. I imagine he's not entirely solid.
Whale sugar dog biscuits. Maybe they call him a love sponge because for other reasons.
I saw him once when they had this odd gimmick. He came into TNA when there was like some backstage assaults going on, and he would like constantly come and like do like the CSI detective thing. He'd like crouch over the body and like, I got this, son. Or his dad had to solve this problem. Like, where the hell is this going? Are these guys getting jumped by Bubba the Love Sponge?
I don't know. Probably.
No, it was not. It was not in the long run. Bubba the Love Sponge.
Was it Sting?
It wasn't Sting either.
Was it the secret 14th hidden leader of Aces and Eights?
This was before Aces and Eights.
Well, maybe it's just foreshadowing.
This actually was when Sting was doing his Joker Sting thing, which I very much enjoyed.
I never saw any of that, and to be honest, I don't think anybody's put pictures online. I've never seen it.
It was basically just Sting being crazy.
That sounds great.
Randomly carrying a bird around with him.
That sounds amazing.
He like went into Bischoff's office at one point and was like, hey, I'm just gonna leave my bird here, and like Bischoff had to pretend to be petrified of the bird. It was weird.
Well, I mean, you get a big enough parrot, those things can get fucking angry.
It was like a raven, I think.
Speaking of angry, a bunch of us went to the Red Robin's there for lunch last week, and they've got this new Burn and Love burger, and it's got jalapeno, like fried jalapeno medallions and stuff like that. But they also just take a roasted jalapeno and wedge it in through the wrapping paper on top of the burger like a pickle.
Okay.
So I was bullying, the one true Kyle ordered this, and I was kind of bullying him slightly because he hadn't eaten his pepper, and he's like, I took a bite, it's really fucking hot. I'm like, oh, it's a jalapeno, so we bullied a couple other people. I was the last one to take a bite, and I, of course, took a big, manly, confident bite, and oh my god, I've not had an angry jalapeno like that in quite some time. They must have found just like the most pissed off one in the bunch. I don't know what it is with jalapenos. Either they, it might as well be a green pepper, or you are pretty much dead right now.
Indeed. So, quick update here at the front. Mike Stockmill has spread his lead to about 2 seconds over Leandro Carroll. And although Carroll did eat back 3/10 there on that lap, Travis Wall's still in third. Matt Higgs not seemingly able to quite keep with the top three, although he does have 30 minutes to find a groove. Wesley Stokes is really very on his own, unfortunately. James Butler is pretty on his own.
Be sure to tune in to the new romantic comedy of the season this winter when we go viewing how Wallace got his groove back.
True. The only real battle to talk about beyond the top beyond that little battle we got going on for second place is this one here between Jonathan Young and George Rivera. Shout out to George if he is watching. He is, of course, a relatively new face to the grid. Oh, and we may have cast or cursed him.
Oh, the Hulk Hogan car went into a tailspin. There's foreshadowing for you.
And we got a little replay.
Yeah, no real explanation. You just kind of did it.
That's
Me not being a driverizer. I believe, didn't Martin say that his friend was doing camera angles on this one, or was that a different race?
I thought that was a different race, but it could also be this race.
Could be.
Well, no, I suspect that it's just Martin doing camera angles on this one, because the race is not racing, so I assume he's the one doing the recording.
That makes sense to me.
As for what happened there is I didn't quite see, honestly, what provoked the spin. It's possibly got a little bit too much curb, a little too much steering input maybe, a little bit too much input under the brakes. But he is now under attack from Mr. John Peacha in the lovely-looking Lexus there.
Jonathan Peachen's team.
That'll be like our goal for like these videos. Is there's not a lot of cars to identify. We're gonna get it to where you can actually identify cars.
Well, that one looks just like the one ahead of it, except it's not quite as flat. Am I doing good?
Mr. John Peacha is driving a Lexus. Mr. Rivera is in an Audi.
If you say so. All I know is one of them Swiss.
Well, then that's the racing team. Emil Frey Racing, which is the livery John is running. And also Travis is running. They're running team liveries.
The Schweiz
are, of course, based in Switzerland. One of the more established GT racing teams in all of racing.
Hey, arigato.
Although they no longer run the Lexus, I don't think. I don't know what they're running now. They also run the Jaguar if it pops up, but no Jaguar today.
I believe they're driving the 1972 Toyota Corolla.
That would be intriguing and probably not very GT competitive.
I mean, if that's gonna be your attitude, maybe.
There you can see the other Lexus of Travis Wallace, still running in third place, about 2.5 seconds behind Leandro Carroll's red Ferrari. Surprised actually that we can't see Leandro. I didn't think he was quite that far ahead, but he is not in the shot. You can see in the background the Audi of Matt Higgs periodically, running in fourth position. Little Higgs is in the battle, and congratulations on Senior Higgs, Richard Higgs, for successfully appealing a stewarding decision. It is the first successful appeal since the new process was put into place.
Did he, in fact, bribe the judges?
I don't believe so.
Well, I didn't more precedent.
I didn't pay particularly close attention, to be honest. But I know that he got rear-ended by Lachlan Nichols at Motegi.
Oh, what? Lachlan rear-ended somebody?
Which is something I can feel your pain on. I can feel your pain on the matter. And 1-800-GOT-BUMPER has added another bumper to its collection. If you would like to head out there, it's another Audi bumper. It's like Lachlan has a problem with the Audis.
He does seem prejudiced.
The incident was originally classified as a racing incident, no penalty, but was overturned by the stewarding panel. And,
so he snitched on somebody. I don't know if I'm impressed now.
Hey man, you gotta say, oh, you know what? Wesley Stokes might have made a mistake at some point, because James Butler is all over that now. Less than a second behind Wesley. He was quite far behind Wesley last time we looked at the progress of this battle. So I wonder if Mr. Stokes has had an off at some point in his Mercedes-Benz. Which actually kind of looks like one of the Batmobiles from certain angles, which is intriguing with that particular color scheme that he's got rocking there.
I agree.
I was gonna say either that or I'm just drunk.
I mean, both could be true.
Or high on drugs from the.
Y'all been sipping on that lean? It's very ill.
Ugh. Not so ill now, but still very phlegmy.
You Flemish bastard.
That is one of the few things that I am not from Europe, actually. There is no Flemish blood.
Well, I mean, that's not in the blood part.
It's almost everything else. You know, most of Eastern Europe, course, a bunch of and then there's a couple of like theorized things, like for example, I mean, most of us Eastern Europeans probably have some Ottoman blood in us from certain unsavory actions.
Potentially true.
And
my aunt did a lot of genealogy when I was a kid, and I don't know how accurate this is, so don't take any of this, but with all the grains of salt. But she showed me all the family tree, and she basically tracked us down to most of the royal houses of Europe at one point or another, and also Charlemagne. Like, that's pretty impressive. I don't know if that's legit.
Yeah. I think we have like one semi-famous ancestor, but it's just like a Serbian, noble thing.
Yeah,
so it's not famous anywhere else in the world, basically.
Apparently, at one point or at several points, at any given time, almost every royal house in Europe, in this house.
Interesting. Very nice.
Which explains why I'm so attractive.
It does. It explains the melodious voice as well.
Indeed, I like to hang out with my friend Robert Goulet.
Indeed. By the way, if you ever need to know who's running the server, check out the ping Wesley's got there.
How do I do this?
See the number in the brackets?
No.
Well, it's not there now. I'll point it out when we're back outside of the car. It goes away when you're in the car. But at some point, hopefully, we'll change camera views and I can...
Nope, we're stuck here for the rest of
the There we are. You can see the 5 in the bracket with the Wesley there.
5 in a bracket.
In a bracket. Beside his name. Over the car.
Top, bottom. Oh, okay.
That is the ping.
Oh, I thought that was his car number.
No, sir.
Or position in the race. This is position in the race. Are you on drugs?
No, watch when James gets shown. He's going to have 106. And he's not in 106th place.
I don't believe you.
That is the ping, sir.
You can't have 5 ping.
He's literally in the same room as the server.
Well, then everybody needs to move their servers into my room so I can have all the latency gone.
Must notice that Jonathan Young is actually running faster laps than both of these guys, so he is closing in and has plenty of time to possibly make this a 3-way scrap. It should be mentioned, however, also George Rivera has fallen very far back. Might be in the pit lane. I'm gonna suggest that he may be in the pit lane based on that ever-growing gap.
Wife in the pit lane.
Gonna make you lose your mind. We check in with Travis Wallace. Don't really know why. He's not really racing anybody. He's kind of on his own in 3rd place. I mean, that's a sexy Lexus he's driving. But
all by myself.
But aside from a nice glamour shot and a nice camera angle, I don't think we're really getting much out of this.
Dude, look at it. If we get a reverse helicopter shot, I want to see further up the track so I can see how close he is to Leandro.
I mean, I could tell you the time he's behind Leandro, but that's about it. It's about 3 seconds.
I want to know how, 2.5 to 3 seconds. I want to see what that is in distance.
Well, might get a look. The camera is
kind of... the little mini-map thing, kind of, sort of, but...
Camera is kind of... Hey, there we go, there we go.
Up, you bastard! Ah, you're in a helicopter, raise it up!
Raise it up. Well, there it is.
He's not that far behind.
He's not terribly far behind, but that'll take about 2 laps to close. If he gets on his horse.
Clothes. You gonna tell me now that Travis has 3 ping?
I don't see his ping number because there's no bracket number. Yeah, the ping number only shows up in certain angles. And I don't really know what the logic is on the matter.
Me neither.
If you're racing somebody, you always see it because knowing how terrible a guy's ping is will tell you how the car will just randomly do shit.
Leandro Carroll currently with 2 ping.
He's running in 2nd position and can confirm Mr. George Rivera's in the pit lane. By the way, actually, just a quick note. Note the P that appears beside the person when they're in the pit lane. That'd be nice to incorporate into the racing calculator. If anyone who is working on that project happens to watch this video.
Where is this P you're talking about?
So if you look at the left-hand side,
Uh-huh.
where the you see how George has beside the numbers, the 43 seconds beside his name, and there's a P with a white box.
Nope.
I don't know how you're not seeing this.
I'm watching the same clip you are, motherfucker. I see Young, Picha, and Rivera in blue. I assume that they're in the pit lane.
No, that's reflected that they're not on the same lap as the car that we are watching.
Interesting. I think you're probably hallucinating, and you're a lot sicker than you think you
sir.
are.
No, sir. I think you're just being a troll.
I see his position in the race.
Well, it's gone now.
name.
He's out of the pit lane now.
Listen, nothing's changed. I see the position of the race, the name of the race.
Hang on. James Butler's going for an overtake.
Boy.
James Butler's got it. Up into 5th place goes Mr. Bouvier.
Wesley need to stoke that up a little higher.
And we're getting a replay, courtesy of Martin. Excellent. Nice. Not really much there. Just kind of got a really better drive out of the corner and goes down the inside of the straightaway. So.
Well, you see, the technique here is he just went faster.
That is factually correct.
Excellent.
It's actually really about as in-depth analysis as required on that particular move.
I can't remember. There's a rap video, and it's basically the premise is it's a basketball game, and at the end of the video, they've got commentators sitting on the sideline, and they show them in the video. I don't remember if there's like a halftime little break skit in the middle of the video or not, but at the end, it's just
whoa,
this team over here won because they had more points.
I do hate to interrupt you, but Jonathan Young just left Wesley Stokes for dead too. Something I think is wrong with Mr. Stokes.
Ran out of gas.
May have picked up some kind of damage, because that is the second just kind of straightaway where he's just died and let a car through. And the AMG is an absolute beast in a straightaway, so that it doesn't really make a lot of sense. So, Wesley, please comment below if you would like to imply to us what the deal was.
I believe he did not stoke up the fire.
I mean, that's possible. That would make sense. We're getting the swingman view here from Jonathan Young.
Very nice.
In the Lebanese Ferrari.
And they've all got 11 liters.
11 laps.
No, it's liters, sir. Do we sell liter cola?
Yes. At least we do here.
Excellent.
Whoa, Matthew Higgs, I think, made a mistake at some point because he is very off Travis Wallace now. Talking neighborhood of 10 seconds after for a while they're keeping him to about 3. So,
well, maybe perhaps he should not have run over that skunk.
I mean, that is possible, but anyways, Mike Stockmill continues to lead from the Andrew Carroll, Travis Wallace, Matthew Higgs, and James Butler. They finish your top 5. Congratulations to James Butler for running in a solid 5th place there. So, nice. As Wesley Stokes seems to be back up to pace now. It's very, very mysterious as to what happened. Did you trigger the pit lane speed limiter by accident or something, Wesley? What's the deal here?
Listen, Wesley, we get it. You vape.
Mistake there by James Butler, and that's going to cost him 2 places. There is the replay. Getting a little bit squirrely. Jonathan Young goes around the outside, and Wesley Stokes up the inside, and that's going to put James Butler back in his 7th place after we were giving him a little bit of love. I do actually like that livery. It's a nice livery. The Black Swan racing car.
Caw-caw. I'm just watching the team list, trying to see this mystery P.
Well, it's gone. No one's in the pit lane right.
I know. That's why I'm waiting.
It was there, and if someone in the comments would like to back me up, that would be appreciated.
Listen, I don't see anything now that I didn't see while people were quote-unquote in the pit lane. Where did it show up? Like, beside what part? Well, I just want to see it.
On the right-hand side of the gap.
The gap, so the timing, okay.
Yeah, the time. The plus or minus number.
Gotcha. I didn't see it. I'll have another look. if I'm wrong, then
well, we probably won't get another pit stop. Is the problem?
What? Come on, somebody run with somebody off the road. Do me a favor. Come on.
We here at ESR do not condone running other people off the road.
Oh, fine, whatever.
Again, whatever was up with Wesley's car appears to have fixed itself, because he's reeled in Jonathan Young and he's putting the pressure on him now. So, I don't know, just bizarre as to what happened to Wesley earlier on that caused him to lose 2 position.
Well, you see, he stopped to get his vape pen up and running and probably got distracted by all the fat clouds.
Mm-hmm. And we ride in the swingman of James Butler, who's just behind that fight for 5th place. He, of course, was in 5th place before he made a mistake, going too deep on the brakes and losing control of the car. Wesley Stokes in the Mercedes versus the Ferrari of Jonathan Young. I was gonna make a crack about these being like the 2 de facto supercar brands, but it's not really the case. That's really more Ferrari versus Porsche.
They all look like Lamborghinis to me, Phil.
Well, the Ferrari definitely has some solid similarities to the Lamborghini. I will give you that. As Wesley looking around the outside, I don't think that's really on Wesley. I think Jonathan Young will be able to pretty easily shut the door as they head through. I do actually really like this section of the track. These the chicanes here at Nurburgring are quite demanding, quite rewarding. You get them just right. So it's very nice. As they head through the final section here of the lap, we'll see if Wesley can get alongside Jonathan Young and maybe use the beastly engine. Now, this is not the final section of the track. This track's very flowy. I do actually get lost where I am in it.
Well, sugar dog biscuits. I think that they should probably just go sideways all the time.
This is the last corner of the lap. There we go. And James Butler in the background there, looking very menacingly.
Growl.
They're all running very close together lap times. James Butler about 0.2 of a second faster than the 2 cars he's chasing, so the gap is closing slowly. We got about 11 minutes to go here. Yeah, well, closer to 12 minutes, I suppose. 11 and a half minutes to go here. Travis Wallace has overtaken Leandro Carroll. I feel like we missed something there. So Travis Wallace up to 2nd place.
I like how Wesley has a lightsaber sticking out of the top of his car.
That is very interesting. I don't know how that even works.
Does it make the sound when you're driving?
I don't know. I've not seen him drive this car. That's very interesting. He is Darth Stokes.
Rawr. Wesley Stokes in the WCW Extravaganza.
NWO Racing. New racing order, baby.
Racing doesn't start with a W.
I know. I thought of that after I did the NWO points. That'd be NRO, I know. But, possibly you can make even an NRA reference in
there. About needing tickets to the gun show?
There might be where Leandro Carroll lost 2nd position. It appears he ended up off the track. So I believe that Martin has seen that position has changed hands and has given us a quick replay. Not a tremendously effective one, though. Because we still really don't know what happened. Were they like side by side going into a turn and Leandro overcooked it? Or was it just a simple mistake by Leandro Carroll?
Well, I mean, he's probably also grabbing his vape pen and got all distracted.
It's possible, but still running in 3rd place in the Ferrari.
Winner gets $10,000 in popcorn long.
So it is Mike Stockmill's Bentley from the Lexus of Travis Wallace and the Ferrari of Leandro Carroll up on the podium. 4th place belongs to the Audi of Matt Higgs. And this battle for 5th place here between the Ferrari of Jonathan Young And Wesley Stokes' Mercedes is heating up. James Butler is still closing in. He's got the gap down to about 1.7, 1.5 seconds. So he is taking a couple of tenths out on a lap basis, basically. And that does put some time on Wesley to get the job done here against Jonathan Young to avoid possibly coming under attack from James Butler. And it appears we have at some point lost George Rivera from the races. We are shown only 8 cars.
Correct. Jonathan, don't call me Carl Young.
We'll see if Wesley can make something happen. We got that hard braking zone coming up shortly that might favor him. It's not super hard braking zone, but you can see a bit of a harder braking zone there. Haven't really driven the Mercedes enough in this game to know its particular pros and cons beyond the generic real-life ones. And of course, Race Room, where I've raced the engine on another occasion, is a little bit overpowered at the moment.
Correct.
As they head through the final chicane here.
Chicane fool.
And into the final curve. By the way, James Butler, I think, made a little bit of a mistake. He's fallen back about a half second here now. So, either just kind of letting these guys get on with their thing, or he ran about 6/10 slower that lap. So it's probably some kind of minor mistake from James Butler as he was chasing these two down. Nothing major, but definitely some problematic. So again, to talk about the colors of the names, the blue means that someone's not on the same lap as you, so they'll probably get a blue flag if you come up on them.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
The orange means that if they come up on you, you'll get the blue flag.
Or maybe they're turning into a pumpkin.
Could be as well. You'll see that Mr. John Peach turned white there as he crossed the finish line to start the same lap that Leslie is on. So he is no longer good. Travis is going for it again, but he's again going around the outside, but I guess that does turn into the inside line. I think he's got it. Superior grunt will prevail for Wesley Stokes, and he moves back into 5th place, which... What is with the light there? It's a bit weird. And replay here, courtesy of Martin Edmonds, a little bit wide from Jonathan Young. Sets up Wesley right in the toe, right on the back end. Lines up for the inside run here into this curve. And Jonathan Young probably could have honestly made that a lot more difficult, but in gentlemanly fashion doesn't really overly resist the advances of Wesley Stokes' Mercedes AMG. Probably also would have struggled to do so due to the grunt that Mercedes does possess.
I'm always in favor of making things more difficult.
Yes you are. Wesley coming across the line to begin yet another lap. A couple laps to go here. We'll probably have 3 or 4 laps. Let's see if James Butler is actually running some relatively unimpressive times right now, so I wonder if he's struggling with maybe some tire grip or something that is hampering his run, because he is dropping back of these 2 cars that he was catching beforehand, and we're squabbling. So this really should have been a good time for him to make up some ground, and that has not really come to pass so far.
Well, I would recommend he probably goes inside, outside, and just push the gas really hard.
Checking the top 4 there for gaps. So it's about a 10-second gap out front for Mike Stockmill. And Leandro Carroll is still very close to Travis Wallace, so that might see a good showdown there yet. Matthew Higgs more or less running on his own. About 20 seconds behind the battle for the podium, and 40 seconds ahead of this particular fight between Wesley Stokes and Jonathan Young. James Butler in the same kind of area code, and then John Peach in 8th place running at the back of the pack. But I'll say this, John is on the lead lap. He's only about 24 seconds behind James Butler, which is the next car. He's having a pretty good time. and deserves a lot of accolades actually for that. I must say, John's acclimatized well to ACC, probably better than he has to Race Room, which is a little bit confusing because this game is a little bit more technically demanding. So it's an interesting, it's an interesting conundrum, honestly, as far as the either that or I mean the other theory I have, of course, is that in the GT3 races in Race Room, John is racing a McLaren 650S. Here he's racing a Lexus, which are very, very different cars. I wonder if perhaps just simply changing into a different car might fix some of the things that ails him. It might be just he doesn't really suit the McLaren, despite the fact that he really likes the car. We check in with race leader Mike Stockmill from the Bentley Mike Sport team. 10 seconds ahead. That's kind of pedestrian by Mike Stockmill's standard.
Well, I mean, he is dragging at least 72 bison in the truck for ballast.
I don't think he has any ballast, actually.
Well, then I don't know.
Travis Wallace there with Leandro Carroll in the background in the red Ferrari. Travis, of course, driving the Lexus, the twin car of John Peacher.
Twin car Motegi.
Emile Frey Lexus Racing. As he comes across the line to complete another lap. Mike Stockmill did a 56.4. What is Travis doing? 56.7, so about 0.3 slower. Leandro Carroll's actually faster than both of them, 56.1. So Carroll is reeling in Travis Wallace at about right there at 0.6 on that lap. So I think we might be in for a pretty decent showdown here for second place towards the end.
I mean, I'd be more impressed if it was 10/6.
That would be intriguing.
Indeed. I'm going to measure that. Everything's going to be measured in sixths from now on. I'm going to be, it's 42 sixths. Sixths.
And Jonathan Young has gotten back ahead of Wesley Stokes, so hopefully Martin picks up on that and gives us a replay of what happened between the Mercedes and the Ferrari. As I don't know if Jonathan Young's had a top 5 before, so Jonathan Young might be on the verge of his career best finish here in the ACC championship.
Well, I mean, he told me that he didn't want to embarrass everybody, so he's just been sandbagging the whole time.
I think Wesley's got problems because now he's lost a spot to James Butler. There he is.
Letting Russo coach him.
So Wesley Stokes in the pit lane. You can see the P now.
Okay, that's rinky-dink. I can't barely even make that up. I didn't notice it at all before.
He is coming in for... Doesn't look like he's got any damage. Maybe he miscalculated his fuel and needs to do an emergency splash and dash here.
I'll allow it.
That will unfortunately relegate him to 8th place as John Peacher overtakes him while he's in the pit lane.
Okay, the leader is on the final lap now.
Leader is now on the final lap, so everybody is heading to their final lap of the race. As here comes Travis Wallace and Leandro Carroll across the line. Leandro only took a 10th out of him that lap, so it looks like Travis should be able to pick up a second place here.
Should, air quotes.
Well, I mean, I don't even think the air quotes is really required. I think should is air quotes in itself. And Travis in a familiar place, best of the rest, but not able to really challenge Mike Stockmill.
Well, I mean, obviously he needs to fire off a couple of different shells and some banana peels, and he'd be right in there.
I mean, it's possible. I would recommend some blue shell. So we ride on board with Leandro Carroll inside of his Ferrari. And now we are on board with Mike Stockmill. This is what the inside of the Bentley looks like. Which is, of course, one of the 2 right-hand drive cars in the field.
They should just make everything middle-hand drive.
Could be interesting.
You got your front-wheel drive, you got your rear-wheel drive, but I want left-wheel drive, okay?
It's all on the left wheel. That tire would be dead.
100%.
He's catching up to John Peachy here to possibly lap him. I don't think he'll do it, though. There's about 4.5 seconds between them, and he's running on a lap to to get that done. Mike Stockmill not lapping anybody. That's an oddity. Well, I guess he lapped Wesley Stokes while he was in the pit lane, actually. So.
I guess. Well, isn't the Nurburgring insanely long?
No, it's Nordschleife, the full like that is insanely long.
Which one is it that Top Gear whipped the van around?
I don't remember.
I thought it was just the Nurburgring.
Nurburgring is only about a 2-minute lap.
Oh, it must have been Nordschleife then, because there's like they're trying to bring it in under like 10 minutes or something.
Oh, okay, that's Nordschleife for sure. Though.
Yeah.
It's in the same spot. Like Nurburgring is like the Nordschleife, but it's just like the stadium section, basically.
Well, I think they should drive all the way around the entirety of Germany.
As Matthew Higgs comes across the line with the fireworks in the air. Jonathan Young in 5th place. We ride with James Butler in 6th place, taking a solid result. And this is Jonathan Young on the inside of course, the problem with the inside view is that Jonathan Young's and Leandro Carroll's cars from the inside look really, really similar, being both Ferraris and both red.
This is the only way I can tell the difference is because the air vents are different shapes.
Well, you wouldn't even be able to tell that between the two because they're the same.
Well, maybe one of them's slightly scuffed, I don't know.
Jonathan Young brings it across the line. Wonder how they choose the smoke colors. Wonder if there's any pattern to that. Anyways, your final Mike Stockmill winning the race here today from Travis Wallace, Leandro Carroll, Matthew Higgs, Jonathan Young, James Butler, John Picha, and Wesley Stokes. I hope you enjoyed our activities here from ASSETTO CORSA from the Nurburgring. We're still working out some of the bugs with the commentary or with the spectator mode, but it was pretty good here today, I would think. There wasn't really anything outside of the occasional, we'll call it inside the earth shot that popped up a couple times.
I did enjoy the dramatic overexposure shots.
Mm. Yeah, that was
Suddenly
interesting.
you're on the surface of Venus. Ah!
Yeah, that was a bit weird, but it was an interesting effect. So there you are. We're running out of. This was one of our late rounds here for the ASSETTO course. I'm not sure what's up next. Hang on. I'll just quickly avail myself of the on tap feature on our Discord and inform you what the next track will be. And Hungaroring.
Which, of course, is in Bulgaria.
For some reason, I thought we already did Hungaroring, but apparently not. Apparently not. Also on deck for the upcoming week. Actually, we don't really have a lot this week because the Tuesday series and the Wednesday series are on their off week. And Thursday we'll be racing Formula 1 at Imola in R Factor. And we have the Friday drop-in, which is going to be Osterlieben and Zolder in GT3s. That's going to be fun. Show up for that, everybody. That's going to be awesome. And then Saturday we got the Enduro, so if you want to crack out the live commentary, we can do that. And yeah,
Enduro.
That's it for the week. So signing off for myself and for Byron Dirksen, my illustrious partner.
Get out.